So in I gotta say September of last year of 2024, I was going into my sophomore year of high school and in my sophomore year of high school, but I was just starting out and um I'm in all advanced classes. I'm in an AP class. Um, these are some of the tougher classes I've taken in my life in terms of what they expect from you. And I was like ruthlessly chasing goals in the gym. Um, I have been since January or February of 2024, pretty much. And I was like the leanest I had been in a while, and I was the strongest I'd ever been. And then I joined wrestling in September, and not in September, but in October. Uh, and I joined wrestling in October, and it was the hardest thing I'd ever done, um, because it was because because it was difficult. I mean, I'd never wrestled before, and if you've ever wrestled, wrestling, or even ever heard about it, wrestling is one of the toughest sports out there, especially mentally. And that taught me so much about something I kind of already knew about myself, which was that I am most happy when I'm struggling. I'm most happy when I'm solving a problem, when I'm getting better at something, and you will be too. Um, Wrestling and weightlifting and powerlifting and all that has taught me that um, the most meaning in my life and the most happiness when I'm struggling, when I'm losing, and when I'm getting better. When most people are like, "Well, that sucks," I actively welcome a challenge. Uh, and that's not to say that there's not been times in my life where I'm like, this is super hard. I hate this and I want to be done with it. Uh, there's absolutely been times where I've hated my life and where I've kind of hated myself and where I've doubted my ability to go places and where I've doubted whether or not the struggle was worth it. Even in wrestling, this one tournament where I went in, I was so tired of losing that I just said, you know what, I'm going to lose two matches and I'm going to be done with this tournament. I just want it to be over with. And that's what I did. In those two matches, the first guy was all right, but the second guy, I knew I could beat that guy. Looking back, and especially after that match, I knew I could beat that guy. But because I decided that I didn't want to feel bad because I was trying my best and I still lost, I pretty much stopped trying. I didn't take it seriously. I didn't take my opponent seriously, and I lost. And that sucked because it kind of made me lose faith in my ability to get better. And there was definitely times during that season, during my first ever wrestling season, where I contemplated just quitting. Where I was just like, "This sucks so bad. There's nothing I can possibly do." But it was just that thing where I was like, "This sucks so bad," and in the worst kind of way, where it was just frustrating. that it seemed no matter how hard I tried, that there was no way I'd win. Um, but then I kind of got over that. I won my first wrestling match at the end of the season because I'd been on varsity the whole season, and varsity wrestling's so much different than JV. It's so much different than any other sport. That's like never playing football in your life and getting thrown into a varsity match, a varsity game. Sorry. Um, at least that's how my coach put it. But in terms of intensity and all that, the skill level needed. But the point is, the reason I'm telling you this, the reason I'm kind of sharing this testimony is because I, like it or not, that was where that was where I loved myself the most, was when I was actively and really striving for something, and I was really like trying to get better. I wanted to quit, sure, but it was more about the things that were going on and not the things that I was doing, if that makes sense. Why I wanted to quit, not why I was losing. It's definitely what I was doing that I was losing. But um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, finding happiness in that kind of struggle, in the hardest thing that you do, you'll find this new like appreciation for life, and 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 it kind of, I found that new appreciation for life where I started actively enjoying the struggle, and I started actively enjoying improving, and I started actively enjoying becoming better, wanting to chase after that kind of goal. And it's this mindset, it's this kind of thing that I'm getting into now where like I'm just loving just chasing a goal. Yesterday, something I haven't done in years, I read a book. I was reading a book. I was reading this book that I've been reading, and for the first time in like so long, I was able to focus on the book, read what I was reading, and when I did that, just 14 minutes passed like it was nothing, like it was a second. I thought 5 minutes had passed, and it had been 14, like been like 15 minutes, and that's the part of the struggle that I love. It's the breaking through. It's the like little things. It's the, oh, well, I couldn't do that before. You know what I mean? Now I can. And I'm so much stronger than I used to be, either mentally or physically or spiritually or whatever it might be. And uh, the thing that kind of ushered that in was changing my value system. And that's how you find happiness in the struggle. That's how you find what you need in that struggle is when I changed my value system from kind of feelings, from emotions to from love to how happy can I feel, to literally just how much progress can I make, what's gonna make me the most fulfilled, what's gonna really enlighten, not enlighten, what's really gonna improve my growth, like what's really gonna do that. And the more I changed my value system to that kind of frame, the more I feel crappy about not doing hard things. The more I feel crappy about sitting here instead of tying up my running shoes and getting out there and running half a mile or whatever. The more crappy I feel about doom scrolling instead of recording this video. The more crappy I feel about doom scrolling instead of editing videos, or I don't really edit that much, but like pretty much optimizing for views, or not even optimizing, but just making sure as many people as possible see my message and kind of are able to learn from this kind of stuff. And the more I feel good for having done this, for recording this video, for spending 30 minutes researching YouTube analytics and kind of diving deep into a lot of that kind of stuff. And the more amazing I feel when I read, or the more amazing I feel when I gratitude journal, or when I journal. Um, it's when you change your value system from, and it's something that I should have done in wrestling, was I changed my value system was in winning. How much can I win? How much can I lose? Like, how much have I lost? Because that's where everybody else's is. That's what everybody else sees. That's what the outside perspective is how much did this guy lose or win? And that's the only thing people keep track of, is like, what happened? What was the end result? But people have become so destinational with their thinking, where it's like, when you're in a car ride, you're thinking so much about the destination, you're not even focused on the road sometimes. Like, you know what I mean? And the more you take your mind and you put it at the destination, and you don't and you stop believing that the road is how you get there, that's when you're gonna wreck. That's when you're gonna feel bad about being on the road that you're on. That's when you're like, oh, I wish we didn't have these roads. It's like, well, the roads take you there. You know what I mean? And when people become so destinational with their thinking, where it's like, well, did you win? Did you lose? Was it a tie? Was it? Did y'all go into triple overtime? But they don't they don't think about how you got there. They don't think about the hours that you put in on the mat. They don't think about the hours that you put in practicing takedowns. They don't care about the hours that you put in practicing mobility. They don't care about the hours that you ran. They don't care, because society, at least recently, and a lot as a whole, has become so focused on like the success, the snap, the overnight, like the overnight, like, this is what happened, like, this is how rich this person is, this is how successful this person is, but they don't focus on it. They what they they focus on that too much, is what I'm trying to say, instead of how you got there. And because people focus so much on that, because that's how you're judged, it can become hard to find happiness in struggle, because you look at all those overnight successes, but you don't look at all the nights that they didn't succeed. You don't look at all the nights that they spent wide awake thinking about what they're doing. That you don't see the nights that they spent um, working on what they do for that one night. And as soon as you do actually change your values from the destination to, and it's so cliche, but to the journey, to the road, as soon as you shift your mind, and you stop saying, well, I want to go to Walmart. It's like, I want to drive the road to Walmart. You know, it's like what a lot of people said. I think I heard it most recently from Sam Sulek. The person who loves walking is going to walk farther than the person who loves the destination, and they're going to get to the destination the same. They're both going to get to the destination, but one of them actually enjoys getting there, and one of them just enjoys the idea of getting there. And as soon as you find as soon as you shift your value in that way, that's when you're really going to, that's when you're going to start taking more action, because then you're not like, well, everything needs to be perfect. I need to succeed right away. You're just going to do this. You're going to sit in front of a camera, you're going to talk, and you're going to give people exactly what you have, and you're going to give your greatest gifts as best as you can. You're going to change along the way. But that's what it's about. That's all it's about. You need to change, and I need to change, and I have been changing my value system where like I said, it was from the destination, it was from where I want to go, it's from I want to make money, I want to have a beautiful, loving wife, and I want to have great kids, and I want to be a good father, I want to be a good husband someday, to I want to do the things it takes to become those people. That's where my value is now. It's like I want to do the things and I want to explore the avenues with which I can become that person instead of I just want to become that person. And I want to, and these things are things that I want to do for my entire life because once you get to the destination, you're there, and then you have a new destination, and you'll never be happy unless you enjoy the journey. I think that's it. See ya.